Уважаемые дамы и господа, в данный момент в зале Ушинский начинается прямая трансляция с сатирисом Маркигианисом, который занимается переводчика. Синхронные переводы.
Satiris, we're ready to start. Please start your presentation. You're welcome here.
Thank you very much for inviting me once again. I love Russia. Unfortunately, I cannot be there today, but next time I promise that I will be in person. My name is Sotiris Makrigiannis, and I'm the CEO of Eliademy.com, an e-learning platform providing massive open online courses to all. And for the next 45 minutes, I will present my case and the vision around the company, the ideology, and what is our long-term vision. At the end of this session, you can ask me questions. And just to check if anybody can hear me, can you confirm that you can hear me loud and clear? Yes, maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna share my desktop so you can see my presentation, and I'm going to share here my desktop and start with my presentation. And my presentation starts with I know one thing that I know nothing by Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher that you most probably are familiar with. Okay, it still plays. So my background is I used to be director of open source operations at Nokia from 2001, and I left the company in 2012 because we switched into proprietary operating systems. I'm a technologist by heart, and I observe the technological trends, and I like to philosophize about what the future will bring to us. So at one point of time, I asked myself, I'm 41 years old right now, and I'm going to be retired somewhere around the year 2039. At that particular point of time, I will be 65 years old, and hopefully the European Union will have still money to pay me for my contribution over the years, some kind of pension. So I posed that question to myself, how the world will look like by 2039. And I came up with some conclusions that in this planet, we will have 8 billion souls and 8 billion minds will be connected into the internet. And of course, we will see also everything from our refrigerators to our cars, and everything that basically can be connected to the internet will be connected to the internet. So-called the Internet of Things. By that particular point of time, new jobs and new professions will emerge. Our garbage collection fellow will not be called garbage collection. We cannot just collect garbage by that particular year. Most probably we will call him a recyclist specialist, and so and so. So a lot of new jobs and the new professions, they will emerge by that particular year, and old jobs will disappear. Some traditional jobs, it's part of our human evolution that as technology progresses, some jobs become obsolete. So I have a wish that my daughters will become teachers as well. I come from a family of entrepreneurs and teachers. So in my family, we are equally divided between my uncles being entrepreneurs and my aunts being teachers. And it looks like that my daughters want to follow the teacher path as well. So I was wondering what the teacher will be doing by 2039. And that's a very big question with the evolution of the technology, with the promise of artificial intelligence or the promise of contextual awareness in the learning context. What will be the job requirements for a teacher by the year 2039? And then the most interesting part is that there is one law, the Morse law, that for the last 40 years it has been is unbroken. The Morse law is the law defining the semiconductor speed of the chips that we are producing. And somewhere around the year 62, the human race created the semiconductors, and every 18 months, the speed of those machines has been doubling every 18 months. So I don't know if you remember back in the 80s, we were talking about 386 computers. Then 18 months later came the 486. Then 18 months later came the 586. Then 18 months later came the Pentium, and now we are talking about gigahertz and petaflops of computing power. Actually, in fact, we have squeezed a huge computer, the ones that we had in our desktop in the 80s, to fit into the size of our watch. And we are carrying that as a watch nowadays. So I pose those questions, and I'm thinking, what is going to happen? And what is happening right now is that from economical point of view, we are going into the collaborative economy phase of our history as a civilization, where everybody is a free agent and everybody is able to sell without the need of a corporation in the middle his services to anybody else. So you have the Airbnb example where you can rent your apartment for a few days without the need of a real estate agency. You have the Uber example where one single mobile application downloaded in millions of devices, and you can find instantly a car to transport you from place A to place B. So with just a simple application and internet connectivity, we are observing right now most probably the death of taxi driver as a job, as we know it. So one very simple application, internet connectivity, accessible to millions of users, and an old profession as a taxi driver is on the path for being obsolete. So going forward, in 10 years from now, when the very first Google cars will be on the road as well, you won't even need the driver to be taking you somewhere. One application connected into the internet with an intelligent machine as the Google car, you will be able to transfer yourself, request a car ride and transfer from yourself from place A to place B without actually any human being involved. So this is very, very scary if we look into now convert this technology impact into the field of education. And what we are observing now is the emergence of massive online courses. One simple e-learning platform like Coursera or edX or Udemy or Lynda or Eliademy.com like us, with millions of users around the globe, crowdsourcing courses from the teachers and providing those courses for free or for affordable prices to the millions of students out there. So we are observing the transformation of education as we knew it. And by no means Eliademy wants to be a threat to educational institution. We want to be partners with the educational institutions. And I will explain that a little bit later. So in Eliademy example, one course by a no brand name teacher. Anybody can create a course, and anybody can create a massive online course on our platform. Uh, got 1,000 teachers enrolled, and within few weeks. And I'm very proud about this because it was 1,000 students that we didn't buy them with bidding. We didn't lure them in because of the MIT of the Harvard's name, but because the substance of the course itself was really good, and the teacher was also very good in his work. So the difference between us and Coursera is that Coursera is more for the brand names, the oligarchy of the educational system, and we are for the masses, and everybody who wants to create a massive online course can do it together with our platform. So to go forward, with my story is that in our opinion, massive online courses as a platforms, they are not threats to the teacher profession as is right now. But what is a threat, and a very obvious threat, is this particular doll. And the funny part about it, it was the best-selling doll in 2013, and it can teach kids English. It has a limited vocabulary of 30 to 40 languages. It's a mass consumer product, and it's programmed for a specific function to respond to kids' talk by reproducing English phrases. So for us, we see that massive online course platform providers like Eliademy or Coursera and edX, they are not threat to the teachers or the educational organization as such, because in order for us to function, we need to function in a symbiotic environment together with those organizations. But we believe that mass consumer products like toys can become a real threat for specific type of teacher professions at the very beginning. So there is a lot of talk and a lot of hype in the educational market right now. Most probably you read the news about LinkedIn, the professional social networking site. 5 days ago, acquired a massive online course provider called lynda.com for 1.5 billion euros. Yeah, that's correct. 1.5 billion euros was the acquisition cost of lynda.com by LinkedIn. And it makes you wonder why high-tech companies like Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, and in the future Amazon.com and the rest will invest such a huge amount of money into an e-learning platform. And here I think that the answer is very obvious. Education is targeting directly the human brain. So the biggest assets in this century will not be the oil, will not be the wood, will not be the cars that we are manufacturing, but the human brain, the resources that they become entrepreneurs and create new jobs, the scientists that they invent new technologies, and of course the individual people that they are part of our society and they're making our society better. So imagine 10 years down the road, a Russian where all the best scientists, all the best entrepreneurs, they have migrated to the United States. That means that basically Russia will be brain dead by having only the skilled workforce, but not the workforce that basically creates new jobs and innovations. And in the reality, if you would like to disrupt a country in 10 years from now, the only thing that you will need to do is not to wage a war, but to launch a very interesting, massive open online course and recruit those top brains to your site. We have repeatedly emphasized this particular problem, and we think that the venture capitalism and the amount of money that they are investing, it's a huge amount of money, especially in American companies, and we want it to be different. So we created a social contract that is part of our website. You can read it, where we promise few things. We promise that we will not sell advertisement to the end users. We promise that we will not sell the data to any third party. And we promise that the data that you store inside Academy will be your own property and not ours. The only thing that we do and we promise is that we serve you and your content and your students with the highest quality possible. So in the alternative cases, in the alternative platforms, there is always this small print that no one reads when it comes to data being used for scientific purposes or candidates related to, like, for example, in Coursera artificial intelligence course, Google was offering a work to the best students. And 50,000 students participate there. Five guys from India and South Korea and so got a job from Google because they were the top performing students. So we are not going to do this. We are going to be a neutral force with a social contract. And that is our key difference between one of the key difference between us and the alternative massive open online platforms out there. And here is another hype. There is a lot of talk about adaptive learning. And as a scientist and a technologist myself, I can tell you that we haven't invented artificial intelligence yet. The only thing that we can do is we can mimic with a huge computational power very fast a very large calculator. And any software out there that claims that is based on artificial intelligence, or any software out there that says that provides adaptive learning, it's stupid. In reality, is stupid. It's like programming the human brain in one particular parameter of a computer software. And it should be, I wouldn't say it should be avoided, but it should be used with caution because the flexibility in the teaching that you need to apply to your students we cannot replace the teacher from the equation. It will take us at least another 15 years before we can say with confidence that I can rely the education of my kids to be done automatically by computer software that is somewhere on the cloud. What I believe, but I haven't seen yet as a technology emerging, is the contextual learning, is where technology is not creating a myth, but where the technology can support the student by understanding his context, meaning that beyond the classroom, the students, the lifelong learners, they are everywhere. They're in the couch watching television. They might be in the kitchen reading their news. Understanding that particular context where the person is watching a television and providing him with a small educational clip because you know that basically he's interested on history, and programming his television to demonstrate only history movies related to the subject that he would like to educate himself. That is something that we can do today and we can do now. Unfortunately, no one has done it yet. I hope that we at Academy at one point of time, we will introduce those technologies to our global community. So massive open online course is should be a democratic process which enables everybody to participate. It enables organizations to create courses. It enables the individual experts and individual teachers to create the courses. Anything else for us is called oligarchy. If you try to control it, then it will be not a democratic process. It will be an oligarchic process. And it's not going to be good at the end of the day. Democratic processes tend to win over the time. So it's better to not try to control it, but to endorse it as long as it meets some parameters, like, for example, a social contract, respect of the end user privacy, and respect of the end user rights. So that is our opinion. A MOOC provider needs to be also socially responsible and because as the time progresses, those e-learning platforms that exist today, in 10 years' times, the ones that they have survived will be, believe it or not, on the same level as Google and Facebook and Amazon.com today. The future is all about education. The internet will turn in 10 years' time to be educational service rather than just a huge piece of junk news and Facebook likes. If we continue with that piece of internet, the human race will not withstand the passage of time. So we need to change the internet to make it more educational in order for us to have a long-term view in humanity. So, so what do we need? How do we transform the internet to become more educational? We need to use the power of the masses. We need to crowdsource knowledge in all forms of courses, text or video-based, live for the masses or one-to-one. And it needs to be controlled by the teachers, not a particular business objective. So, and this is exactly what we do in Eliademy. We crowdsource. So far, we have crowdsourced 16,000 courses. We are now, at this point of time, we are crowdsourcing 3 new courses per hour. And just recently, we launched our OER initiative in order to create the largest online course catalog on the planet. OER stands for Open Educational Resources, means that a teacher A can create a course where he gives the right to a teacher B to modify it and create an improved version, and that teacher gives the right to a teacher C to take it and use it into his classroom without paying anybody anything. So 3 years, 4 years down the road, specifically here in Finland, kids will not take any more books into their classroom. They will take a tablet and an OER course from eliademy.com in order to learn biology, history, mathematics, and so and so. A teacher community-powered platform on a global scale that respects your privacy and data, that is built on your demands, and understands your culture. My co-founder, Sergei Gerasimenko, is from Russia. I'm Greek, and we share our Orthodox background, but beyond that, we respect any kind of culture on a global level. We are one of the most multicultural teams in Helsinki. And because of that multicultural team, we understand, we try to understand the local culture and needs. We don't have to accept every single thing of the culture being right or wrong, but at least to understand them. Eliademy.com is built based on the end user demands. We have a total open roadmap on our website where you can go and vote what kind of feature you want us to build next. So based on the votes that we are receiving from the community, we are able to build our next release of the software. And we typically have frequent releases. Today, if you go into eliademy.com/blog, I can share the blog. Today we had a review from Russia, from a very nice teacher, that she made a review, and we thank her very much because she has been there from the very beginning with us, coaching us and advising us on what we should build next. She has been one of the most active contributors into our community. And as I said before, we respect your privacy and your data. So this is what Eliademy stands for, and now it's 3:36, and we can take some questions if you want.
Sorters, thank you very much for your presentation. Probably you see me, that's Daria. And
yeah, I can see you.
Yeah. There is not so many visitors, but I hope that our audience have some questions now. There's mostly professional community. Дамы и господа, если у вас есть вопросы к Сатирису, он будет рад поделиться опытом и ответить на ваши вопросы. Да, I give the microphone.
Здравствуйте, я представитель Томского политехнического университета. Вот такой вопрос. Вы упоминали о покупке сервисом LinkedIn, значит, образовательной платформы Lynda.com. Там есть курсы, в том числе, которые не сопровождаются преподавателем, не сопровождаются учителем и предусматривают, как бы сказать, самостоятельное обучение студентам. Есть ли подобные курсы на вашей платформе?
So curious, I'm sorry, have you heard the translator voice?
No, I didn't hear any translator voice, and I hope you don't expect me to learn in 30 seconds Russian.
Okay, we'll translate it in a second. I will just ask the question again. I will translate it by myself. The question is about Lynda.com, because you mentioned that LinkedIn bought Lynda.com and
Lynda.com, yes.
Lynda.com, yeah, and
1.5 billion.
Yeah, and that courses can be watched by professors, by teachers. Does your platform provide the same service?
Yes, the Lynda.com was specializing in enterprise training, specifically on ICT skills. So one very narrow focus area.
Sotiris, excuse me, can you hear me? This is the translator. Let me rephrase the question a little bit, okay? The question was about Lynda.com provides now, or is going to provide, courses where students work with the help of professors. But you can also work alone. And the question was about your company, Eliademy.com. Does you provide for the students to work alone without the help of the teachers? Thank you.
Yeah, it's the category of the self-paced training that, yes, we provide that type of form of training. Self-paced training, but a teacher needs to create the material and put them online. We have 18 courses, for example. We have much more, but 18 courses created by Microsoft campus about entrepreneurship. That basically they are self-paced. They are collections of 4, 5, 6 hours of video that the student can take on their own. The difference between Lynda.com and Eliademy, Lynda.com focuses on a very narrow subject, where Eliademy, we're trying to build the largest course library on the planet. So, yeah.
Есть еще вопросы? Да, еще один вопрос.
Добрый день. Работает, да? Вы затронули тему
Another question. You also
информационной помойки,
mentioned
да, вы
the question of lots of information garbage that you can find on the
какими
internet right now.
инструментами вы
What are the methods of
избегать
instruments
планируете этого?
you're going to avoid that in the next 10 years to come, as you mentioned it? Thank you.
Спасибо.
One second. Is she referring into selecting and filtering the quality of the courses, or about the internet as a whole?
Учебные программы конкретно
Learning
интересуют.
programs only, not the web as a whole. Thank you.
At this point of time, we have a bigger problem. I understand the question. At this point of time, we have a bigger problem. I think that our teachers, they are not familiar with the technology itself. So we would like to encourage the teachers to create courses, no matter what the quality it is, to get familiar with the technologies and the processes for massive open online courses. Later on, when we have a huge amount of teachers, some of them they will be more gifted than the others, and they will create better quality. And those ones, the natural selection laws will be applied, meaning that the students themselves, they will be voting into if the teacher and his content was good enough. So number one, we need to bring more teachers online. Number two, we need to find the most gifted teachers that they can create a lot of courses of the highest quality. And number three, the voting on this crowdsourcing process, the end power is at the hands of the students.
У нас есть еще вопрос от молодого
We have another
поколения.
question from a younger generation.
Вопрос от студента педагогического вуза.
What about students who study at pedagogical training, teachers training colleges?
Если перенести всю информацию в
If you put
интернет
all the
и
information
вести
over to the
образование,
internet, if all education
вести образование
is
онлайн,
done
не перестанут
online,
ли дети ходить в школу и в университет?
would
Не
children stop going to
пропадет ли
school or
вообще
college at
профессия
all?
учителя как
Would
профессия?
the teacher's job disappear completely? Thank you.
In the short-term future, and in the short term, and I hope forever, the teacher will not disappear, but it will transform. Because I'm saying this because humans, we are social animals. We need not to isolate ourselves behind our computer screen. We need to come into teams. We need to interact with each other in order to learn the social skills and the soft skills that basically we need to have in order to face the world. I'm not promoting any future or any technology that it will isolate the kids from the actual classroom and teacher interaction. That is not the right thing to do. So, however, technology, you should see my point of view from this particular point of time. Statistically speaking, kids, they are spending 2 hours per day on television and 1 hour per day on Facebook. Now, statistically, we have approximately 12 to 15 minutes that kids, they are spending on Eliademy. What I would like to see is, instead of my kids spending their time in front of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck TV shows, they spend more time on learning. But that will not replace their playground and the social interaction with their friends or their teachers.
We have another question.
Опять Политехнический университет. Вот такой
Again, a
вопрос.
question from the Tomsk Polytechnicum.
Насколько легко, например, по
Is
сравнению
it
с
easy or
другими
not,
платформами
compared with other platforms,
разместить материалы
it
на
is to
вашей
place any
платформе?
material at your iliademy.com?
Требуется ли такое же сложное согласование, как,
Would you
допустим,
need to go through sophisticated coordination and agreement and a sign-in process like in other platforms? Thank you.
И насколько вот вы
And
открыты
another
к
question, are you really
применению
open to
нестандартных
the
технологий?
use of
Например,
non-standardized
мы используем
technologies, such
интерактивное
as
видео в наших
we
обучающих
use
курсах.
interactive
Возможно ли его
video in
как-то
our learning
разместить у вас?
courses? Is it
Спасибо.
possible to post it at your site? Thank you.
Eliademy.com was built with easy of use in our minds. So with one click you can log in, and with 2 clicks you can create a course. We have a private video storage, and that means that basically we are hosting your videos free of charge. So in order to create a massive online course in other platforms, it will take you a project and a couple of thousands of euros. In our case, it will take you 5 minutes, and it will cost you nothing. Now we support LTI protocol. It's a standard protocol that Moodle, Blackboard, Canvas, they are using, which allows any third-party application to be embedded within the course. So you can have your text, you can have your video, and then with this LTI protocol, that is 5 lines of code, a header, then you can embed your mini lab, programming lab, within the course itself. So we are not hosting it, but we have an open API to integrate those applications into our platform. I just want to demonstrate very quickly how easy it is to log in inside Eliademy. I just press this button, and one second, I have to share. Are you still with me? So I'm sharing now so here I just I log out. And I press login. I press login, and I'm inside the platform. And I can select the courses that I'm learning or the courses that I'm teaching, and I press this button, and I can create a course within few minutes. I can put here. You can issue certificates, and basically you can create a course in just a few seconds. Hello? What is the next question?
You mentioned in your presentation that you can insert that third parties plugins can be inserted in your code.
That's right.
Is there any risk that in the future students would be cheating in you because they would be smarter than teachers technologically, so that the quality of education could drop if everything, all education is done based on the web and IT technologies? Thank you.
I would like to hire those students that they will cheat on an online platform, because they will show intellectual properties of very good intellectual properties. So for sure, what we will do is we will try to find those cheaters so we can reward them. But now the fact is that it's in our nature to try to cheat the system in anything that we do. So it's unavoidable that basically platform software will be misused. We are not going to play the grand police force or anything like that. when the amount of cheating or the amount of misuse will reach a particular threshold, we will regulate that. But otherwise, it's almost impossible with the technology and the human intuition to make a perfect world. We will have to make compromises. And I'm not afraid that the World Wide Web will take over. That is already done, my friend. You are you're walking down the road and you're watching your Facebook application. You stop for a coffee and you are WhatsApping. Already technology is taking our lives and we haven't realized that. What we are trying to do is we trying to be an e-learning platform where teachers and students can learn faster and understand that we need to build a better society with more intelligent human beings. Is there any additional question? Once again, I would like to thank you very much for inviting me for the third time in Russia. I really love your country. I'm a great fan of your culture and your history. And I really admire the Russia of today and the Russia of the past. I hope that basically I will have in the future the opportunity to visit you again as many times as possible, and next time I will be physically present. Unfortunately, I explained to Vladimir that I have to go to Bulgaria in 2 days. I have to give a similar presentation to the Bulgarian audience. Thank you very much for staying behind. Thank you very much for asking all these questions. And until the next time, goodbye.
Сатирис, мы благодарны вам. Спасибо за ваши вопросы зрителям.
Satiris, we really appreciate. Thank you.
It was
Thank you very much,
wonderful and
Selma.
great.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.